Once again, very good morning and thanks for joining. Okay. In continuous to yesterday's session, yesterday we discussed about the CyberArk, about the service account, about little about Active Directory, little about domain, and we discussed about some process oriented. In continuation to yesterday, okay. Today our main concept is two things we wanted to discuss. One is a little about what are the major prerequisites you need to take and care before you go and install the SQL Server. And we will major focus will be license. Our main focus will be licensing as part of today's session. So when you get a new build request, okay. So couple of major things. One yesterday I told you, right? So there are many things where you need to make a note down when you get a chance to install the SQL Server. Okay. Slowly, we will discuss all these points, okay, to make so comfortable. Because not only now, when you are going to build the clusters, when you are going to build the always on availability group, okay. So when you are going to migrate the databases, many times we'll install the SQL Server as part of this 90 days of training, okay. So every installation, something we will learn new so that you will feel so comfortable at the ending how to install the SQL Server. As of now, couple of points are so important when you are performing the installation. Out of that, the first point is, so when you get a chance to install the SQL Server, there are two types basically. One is standalone installation, one is cluster installation. Means on top of cluster, you will install SQL on cluster. Means when you are installing SQL Server, one you will install standalone, one you will install SQL on cluster. SQL on cluster, okay? SQL on cluster. There are two types of installation we do basically. Mostly 90 to 95% will do the standalone installation only. 5%, 5 to 10% will do the SQL on cluster. SQL on cluster. So first, many times you will do the standalone installation, but sometimes you may also get a chance to install the SQL on cluster. So we can perform two types of installation. One is okay. One is standalone installation. One is SQL on cluster installation. That is the first thing we need to get in a question. What type of installation? It's a standalone installation or it's a SQL on cluster installation. So both we are going to discuss practically. So SQL on cluster we'll discuss after 30 days. Okay, after we complete the base concepts, we'll go on the cloud. Right, that time we'll discuss how to install SQL on cluster, how to build again. Again, we'll discuss all the things from scratch level, how to spin the VMs, how to spin the networks, how to build the Active Directory, domain controller, ISPC disk, and how to download the software and how to install. Everything we'll discuss again, once again in the upcoming classes. Okay. So basically, we will perform two types of installation. One is standalone installation. One is SQL on cluster installation. So what type of installation they are requesting? Next thing is which version they want to install. Basically, you won't get chance to install SQL Server 2012, 2014, 2016 also rare case. Maybe you may get a chance to install SQL Server 2017, 2019, 2022, 2025. 2025, you may get a chance. So which version we wanted to install, which edition we wanted to install, that is also very, very important. Either you are going to install standard edition or you are going to install enterprise edition. Out of that, one of the major prerequisites is hardware and software requirement. Hardware and software requirement. If you simply go to the Google and search for SQL Server software 2022 hardware. Okay, if you just search for whatever version you wanted to install, if you simply search for SQL Server, which version, hardware and software requirement, okay, you will completely get the Microsoft block. So for how much RAM you need, how much of core, what is the best practice when you in terms of CPU, okay, even with one core also you can install the SQL Server. Minimum like 512 MB to 1 GB of RAM is fine. Okay, 1 GB of RAM, 512 to 1 GB of RAM, and one core, even with the one core processor also, you can spin the SQL Server, means you can install the SQL Server. Okay, so for Express Edition, 512 MB is needed, okay, minimum. For all other editions like Standard Edition, Evaluations, and Developer Edition, Enterprise Edition, okay, for all other editions, you need 1 GB of RAM, you need minimum 1 GB of RAM. And especially if you go for CPU, if you go for CPU, okay, we want minimum to minimum, at least your processor speed will be 1.4 gigahertz per speed more than, if the best, how much speed is the best, how much greater value, your performance will be good in terms of processor, CPU. Okay, where I can get this information, Subbu, means if you just simply search for MS Info 32, MS Info 32. Okay, you will get to know easily when you go to the processor. Okay, 12th generation. Okay, i5. It is clearly saying that, okay, 12 cores. Okay, and here you will see when you go to task manager. I'm not able to see it. Okay, what is the, if you go for CPU, so here you will see, okay, basic speed is 2 gigahertz per speed. So almost it is running with 3.5 gigahertz per speed. So our processor is somewhat good. Okay, somewhat good. So here you can get the information. Here you can get the information. When you are purchasing laptop also, you will, these are the two major things. One is CPU, one is memory, one is the disk. Disk, mostly we are going for SSDs nowadays. Okay, rather than HDD, we are going for SSDs. Even you can go for hybrid also, like 256 GB of SSD, 1 terabyte of HDD also you can purchase. Better go for hybrid, because when you compare with SSDs, HDD is a little bit cheaper, but performance wise, SSD is the best. No worries. What is SSD? What is HDD? We will talk when we are discussing Azure storage part. When we are talking Azure storage account, we'll talk more on the disk, memory, CPU, all the stuff. So these are the basic resources need if you wanted to install the SQL Server. And .NET framework is very important. So as you are going to install SQL Server, .NET framework is very important. Tomorrow I will talk on the, what are the, apart from resources, what are the major prerequisites you need to take in care before you install the SQL Server. And here you will get the operating system support. This is something very important, sir. Which operating system you are going to install, on which platform you are going to install. So for example, if you, where is my mouse? Come on. Okay. So if you go here, where is here, it will show you clearly what is your operating system. So if you want to install SQL Server 2022, okay, you can't install in Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 7. Okay, you need Windows 10, Windows 11, and when you go for servers, Windows servers, minimum you need Windows Server 2016. So operating system compatibility, first thing you need to verify operating system compatibility. So if I wanted to install a SQL Server, okay, what is my underlying operating system? That is very important. If you go for SQL Server 2016, 2017 also, okay, you will go and see, you see, for 2016, 2017, you can install in Windows 8, Windows 8 Pro. So all these components are your local laptops. Okay, your local laptops will build in Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 8.1 Pro, Windows 10, Windows 11. But in real world, will you get a chance? Very rare case you will get a chance to install SQL Server under these operating systems. Okay, majorly you will get the servers, Windows servers. Okay, Windows Server 2012, Windows Server 2012 R2. At least you need to remember like how SQL Server versions, even your Windows is also having the versions. Like in traditional, if you go for our traditional laptops like Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11, right? Like same when you go to the real world Windows servers, Windows 8, Windows 2008, Windows 2008 R2, Windows 2012, Windows 2012 R2, Windows 16, Windows 19, Windows 22, and Windows 25 as well. Okay, now the latest Windows operating system is Windows Server 2025. Latest Windows Server operating system is Windows Server 2025. So you need to remember these Windows servers as well. Like, no need to remember older versions. At least remember Windows 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, 2012 R2, 2016, 2017, sorry, 2019, 2022, and 2025. These are the Windows Server. So when you are trying to install SQL Server, one thing is very important is, okay, under which operating system you are going to install. Resource level, nothing, it's required minimum resource only, not the major, like with one core, with 1 GB of RAM, 512 GB of 512 MB of RAM is also sufficient to install the SQL Server. If you wanted to install the SQL Server in real world, we will maintain the massive resources only, no problems. But major important component you need to remember is operating system version. If your operating system is not compatible, your installation will get failed. Is it clear, everyone? How to check the hardware and software resources?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So AdSense will, that's what very important. AdSense license part I will talk in a while. Next slide is license only. Very important concept. Now, as I told you, this is very important. Don't forget this one, okay? When you are going to install SQL Server, okay, the major part is data files, log files, backups, tempdb, along with the binary files. What do you mean by binary files, Subbu? See, when you are installing any software in the operating system, every software is having default binary files, correct? So where I wanted to store, I'm telling the real world example. Please make a note down. Okay. See, for example, take a server. What is the best configuration I will do is, so I will create like drive letters are not very important, sir. Here, very important is you need to understand the logics. So I will create SQL bin E drive. Okay. SQL data G drive. Okay. SQL log L drive. SQL, okay, backups, for example, J drive, and SQL tempdb T drive. So all the binary files, system database files, I will keep these two in the SQL binary drive, which like you can maintain 20 GB is fine. Okay, 15 to 20 GB is fine. I don't want keep anything in the C drive. Okay, I don't want to keep anything, all the binary files in the C drive. Rather than keeping in the C drive, why can't I create a disk, one dedicated disk to store all our binary files along with my system database files, system databases into the E drive, into the E drive. That is the one best practice we will follow in real world. Okay, but again, if you're following, if they're following, they're not following, we don't know, sir, until unless we see their infrastructure. Okay, but as we are a database administrator, what we need to follow, what you can educate in the going forward means, so rather than keeping everything in the C drive, binary files, why can't I create a dedicated drive, and why can't I make use of this drive to store all our binary files along with the system database files. Now, your data files will go for data G drive, your log files will go for L drive, your backups will go for Z drive, and tempdb will go for T drive. So, always best practice is backups need to be in the data files need to be in the separate drive, log files need to be in the separate drive, tempdb need to be in the separate drive. Backups, up to your wish, sir. Either you can create a dedicated drive or you can store in the log file drive. That is depends on capacity of our databases in the instance. Okay, you can keep a dedicated drive or you can keep, because why, Subbu, means, sir, backups, either you can take the locally, either you can take two level backup. See, we will perform the backups two level basically. in the real world, we will use Commvault Sympana, Veritas Net Backup, Redgate. We will use different third party tool to take the backups of SQL Server databases. So in that situation, we won't keep in the local servers. We'll keep in the sandboxes, or we will keep the backups in the Azure storage accounts. Nowadays, we are keeping the backups in the Azure storage accounts or AWS S3 buckets. S3 buckets. If you go for AWS, you will take the backups to the S3 buckets. If you go for Azure, we'll take the backups to the storage account. So nowadays, we don't want to keep the backups in the local server. We will keep the backups in the in the cloud or in the sandboxes. So what configuration you are going to do in your platform, okay? Based on that, you can decide whether you want to keep a dedicated drive or you can keep in the log drive, okay? As of now, you will get little confused, but going forward, you can understand slowly. But make a note down, this is very important configuration. Data files need to be separate drive, log files need to be separate drive, tempdb need to be separate drive. This is very important. Okay, tempdb need to be separate drive. Very important point. Again, I will come back when we are discussing tempdb architecture, tempdb contention, tempdb spells, tempdb internals, tempdb many things, because 3 to 4 days we are spending only on the tempdb. Now think that how important the tempdb is. Okay, so always one of the best practices, you should not keep tempdb in the any one of these disks. TempDB always it need to be dedicated drive. Always TempDB disk should be SSD only, not HDD. Always TempDB need to be separate drive and TempDB disk should be SSDs. Always that is a one best practice we need to follow. Is it clear? Not clear, everyone? Questions? No, sir. Everyone's so silent from yesterday. What happened? Getting, not getting? Eric, Brian, Ramesh, Raj.
Yeah, nice
Rudari.
info. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, yeah. See, this is the one thing. Please make a note down. See, when you get a chance to the project, whether they are following this best practice or not, we are unaware of that. But as a database administrator, what is the best practice you need to follow? This is the best practice. Even binary files should not be in the C drive. Always it should be in the dedicated drive, because these are all our SQL Server drives. And educate your application team, don't keep any application related data in these drives. Educate your application team, don't keep any application related data in these drives, because these drives are dedicated for our SQL. They can create a separate drive and they can store whatever they want data. So you will ask one more question. Subbu, if I'm having analysis service, okay? If you're having analysis service, basically we will keep this in the any one of this disk only. But we don't know what is the massive they are going to use is using this analysis service, right? Ask them, is it possible to create a dedicated drive for this analysis service rather than keeping in our data directories? Rather than keeping in our data directories, okay? If they are using analysis service and they when they are using analysis service, definitely they need to store the data, because there also you are creating the databases. Okay, there also you are creating the databases. They are going to store the cubes. Okay, cubes. We'll talk, sir. More, no worries as of now. Okay. In case if yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to let you finish first before I ask my question. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah. See, in case if they are using analysis service, you can educate your application team. Why can't you create a separate drive for analysis service? That is what one best practice, sir. Rather than keeping in our directories. Okay. Rather than keeping in our direct, of course, analysis is also our service only, but these are the major components for our database engine. Okay. In entire SQL Server, database engine is the heart. For engine, These are all the best practice. Analysis service also one component for us. So better they can create a dedicated drive to store the analysis related data. Is it clear? That is the one best practice you can follow. Okay. Now, question. Yes, Eric. Now, no. Okay. Is it clear, sir? Everyone about this directories? This is very important. If you not understand, just raise your voice. I can explain once again. But make a note down. As a database administrator, you should follow the best practice. Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at the PowerShell presentation, and I see that the E drive has both the log file and the backup file. And I know that you just mentioned that the backup drive will be in the cloud. That's where most of the backup will be, stored.
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
log file, go
Nowadays
ahead.
we are taking the backups to the cloud, Eric. Okay. So
Okay.
nowadays, earlier we mostly now also we are going to store the backups in the local drive only. Okay. But rather than keeping in the log drive, why can't you dedicatedly keep a separate disk for backup as well? Because backups are also very important for us, right? In case if suddenly something happen, you can recover with the help of backup. So how you are going to protect your data, you need to protect your backups as well a lot. Both are very
Right.
important for us, because
Okay.
if suddenly you deleted something and there is no backup, we are gone, right? Yes or no?
Definitely. Yeah. Yes.
So backups is also one of the biggest tasks for DBS. Not only SQL, sir, if you go for any database management system, backups are very crucial for us. In case of
So,
natural disaster, in case of human-made mistakes, if we
right.
want to recover the data, backups are mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, other than the C drive for the computer itself, there has to be at least 5 to 6 drives. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
And whole
yeah.
project you need to maintain the same infrastructure. That is the best thing actually. See, you are working for HSBC client. HSBC client. Okay. Under this client, you are having 150 applications. Each application you are having 3 servers, means almost 350 servers you are maintaining. For example, you are working for this client only, right? Yes or no? Okay, whatever application it may be car loan application, bike loan application, home loan application, health insurance, medical insurance, COVID insurance. Okay, it's a personal loan, whatever application it may be. All these applications belong to this client only, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So you need to educate your application team. Why can't you maintain the common infrastructure for all 150 applications? Rather than there is a personal dependency, means there is any dependency for them, you can change here and there, sir, but most of the servers you need to follow the same hierarchy. That is the one best practice we can educate. I hope you
Oh,
understand, Eric. Everyone,
yes, I do. What's the advantage of doing that rather than going with something different?
see, for example, uh, if you're having different configuration, okay, if you're having drivelets are different, and you are keeping some everything in one disk for one instance, for a couple of servers, you follow the best practice. See, at the ending, we need to maintain the performance, right? Always the performance is very important. For example, you wanted to book a movie. Okay, you wanted to book a movie, and that app is designed for this application. Okay, now if you're not best to configure SQL Server, it won't give the best performance, right? For example, you are opening the application and you want to book the movie, and the app is slow. While you are opening, it is slow. While you are opening the movie, it is slow. While you are selecting the tickets, it is slow. While you are paying the payment, is also it is slow. Will you go for next time for that application? No, right? You will go for different application, right? Because in
Correct.
our environment, we are having multiple application to book the movie. to book the flights, to book the tickets, any tickets. We are having n number of applications, sir. So better what you will do? Oh, you will also pass the feedback that this application is too slow. Okay, this application is having some bugs. It is getting too many advertisements. So if you are booking a ticket, where your data is storing somewhere in this databases only, right? Okay. If your SQL you not best configured, how your SQL will give the best performance? How this application will give the best performance? Always underlying infrastructure is very important. This is front end. This is back end, Eric. We are working for back end, not front end. Front end is this app. Okay. Back end is our database. Somehow you are storing data. So if you are not following the best practices, it may impact the performance of your entire application, and we are losing one customer. And one thing, so if you are following one best practice for entire 350 servers, you no need to remember, right? Yes or no? You no need to remember, because you are following every all 350 servers. You are following the best practice for installation. You are following the best practice for backup scheduling. So you are following one backup schedule. So every Friday I'm going to take the full backup. Every day I'm going to take the differential backup. Or so if you're changing the schedule for one server to another server, it is very difficult, right, to remember. So in real world, you need to follow the one strategy until unless there is any really dependency. Until unless there dependency, we will change the strategies. Otherwise, we'll follow the single strategy for all the application which are belong to this client. Got it, everyone? Everyone, sir.
Yeah, excellent explanation. Thank you.
Yeah. So not only the disk, the drive letters, everything, whole infrastructure. If you are following one strategy, it's okay. It may easy, sir. Okay, because if any new joiners is joining to the project, you will tell, hey, if you know one strategy, it is applicable to all the servers. Okay, because all the applications are belong to this client only. Okay, one client, multiple applications. What do you mean by applications, Subbu? Means car loan, house loan, home loan, COVID insurance, health insurance. Okay, all these are applications only. For that application, you are having prod server, dev server, test servers. Prod, dev, test. Okay, because see, every month, every 2 months, you when you open your Android, when you open your iOS, your apps are getting updates, right? Yes or no? Your apps will get update, right? Maybe they are improving some securities. Maybe they are improving then maybe they are adding some features to the existing application. So they need development. Once they develop, they need to test. Once they test, it will go to the prod. Until it go to the prod, they can't see what enhancement you've done so far. Okay, that is what happening in the background, sir. But as a database administrator, we are not worrying about all this stuff. As a database administrator, we need to worry about our data. Data. Our focus is data. Okay. So what sort of data they are loading into the databases? Yeah. Question. Someone is asking question. No. So make a note on everyone. Very simple. Always you need to follow the best practices in terms of directories. Okay, data file need to go for separate drive, log file need to go for separate drive, backups need to go for separate drive, tempdb need to go for separate drive, and binary files, system databases you can keep in the separate drive, one drive. Because binary files, it won't consume more space. Even system databases also won't consume more space. Okay.
Okay, sir. So as you mentioned, for the analysis service, we would require to create like separate drive for the base practices. So what about the other services like integration service and
See, integration service contains the catalog. When we create a catalog, it is like acting as our database only, ma'am. It will create SSH DB database. So we are following the best practice. We are going to store in the data files, log file. No worries. For reporting servers, we are going to create a traditional databases only, report server, temp DB. No need to worry. But analysis service is something separate.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we will get cover analysis service here also, right?
All three services you will get it. 4 services you will get, ma'am. Reporting
Okay,
services, Power BI, as reporting and Power BI both are same only. That's so. Along with the analysis service, integration service, all we will cover.
okay, fine.
As a DBA, what we wanted, what task we will get it. Okay, as a database administrator, that much level I will cover. Okay, and it will be pre-recorded, ma'am. Okay, I will once the old batch is completed, I will start that pre-recording only, and I will share. You no need to worry. You can go to the playlist. You will find all the sessions. You can go and watch. I will create a separate playlist called MSBA. Okay, Business Intelligence playlist. There I will make at least 10 videos. Okay, that will be pre-recorded. You will watch and you can ask me questions.
Okay,
Okay, how
got
to install Visual Studio, how to install the data tools, how to install integration service, how to configure a catalog. Everything I will talk there. Okay, what is the
okay,
DBA task? Everything that will also cover.
okay, fine.
Now, okay, next. So except licensing, we talk much. And one more, yesterday we discussed about the service account also. Very, very important, sir. Okay. Service accounts. Okay. Please remember that point. Very important. Okay. Now, one more point you wanted to notice, authentication. Okay. Authentication mode. We'll talk all these concepts, all these three concepts when discussing security. No worries. When we are discussing security, we will talk more on these concepts once again. I am just briefing here, no worries. Again, I will talk in the security sessions. So authentication mode is also very important. See, uh, most of the people, there are two types of authentication. One is Windows authentication. Okay. One is mixed authentication. Okay. Means Windows logins, only it will allows the Windows logins. Okay. Don't get confused. There are two types of authentication. So as per the best practice, what we can recommend is enable the mixed mode, sir, rather than going for Windows mode. Okay, enable the mixed mode, but we won't use the SQL log. We won't see what do you mean by mixed mode means. It will allow Windows logins. It will allow SQL logins as well. We will create two types of logins. One will be Windows login. One will be SQL login. So when you go for Windows, it will allow only Windows login to connect. If you enable mixed mode, it will allow Windows login. It will also allow SQL login to connect. So, but as per the best practice, we won't encourage for SQL login, sir. Basically, in real world, as part of best practice in terms of securities, we will try to avoid the SQL logins. We'll avoid the SQL logins. Okay. But why, Subbu, you are saying that enable the mixed mode when you are going to install the SQL server? Means, see, in future, for that application, if there any dependency on the SQL login, if there any dependency on the SQL login, you need again take the downtime. So, for example, if you enable the Windows mode, okay, in future they are asking, I want mixed mode. If you're changing the authentication mode, you need to restart the SQL services. You need to downtime. In technical time, in technical terms, you need the downtime. So to avoid the future downtime, you can enable the mixed mode while you are installing SQL Server. Getting my point, everyone? So to avoid the downtime in future, you are enabling the mixed mode, but we are not encouraging the SQL logins because it is not a best practice. Always we need to encourage the Windows logins. Always we need to encourage the Windows logins. Okay, not okay, everyone. I hope everyone getting my point. So when you go for authentication mode, there are two things. One is Windows, one is mixed. While you are installing SQL Server, enable the mixed mode. Okay, enable the mixed mode. Okay, later on we will talk why SQL login is not a best practice. Then why Microsoft introduced this SQL login. We'll talk more on the security when we are discussing security. 3 days we'll spend on the securities. Initially 3 days, again 3 more days at the ending, again 2 more days in the tuning. So overall, you are getting almost 10 days we are spending on the security part. Okay, so you will become strong in the security. Okay, no worries on that part. As of now, when you are installing SQL Server, mixed mode is the best practice. We can tell why means in case if there is any dependency in future, if you wanted to switch from Windows to mixed mode, you need to restart the SQL services. So you need downtime. To avoid the downtime on the production servers, we are enabling the mixed mode. That is up to their vista. Okay, but enabling is not a bad practice. Okay, enabling is not a bad practice. So enabling means if you're just enabling, but if you're using not using, that is up to us only. But enabling doesn't make any difference. Okay, to avoid the future downtime, if someone is asking why you are enabling the mixed mode, if there any application dependency for the SQL login, okay, and to enable the mixed mode, we need downtime. So mostly, you think about production servers point of view. Mostly, they won't allow us to restart the SQL services because maybe that SQL is running for 24 by 7, 365 days. Okay, mostly they won't allow us to restart. So that is the case. You need to remember mixed mode we will enable. When you enable mixed mode, you need to provide the SA account password. By default, when you enabling mixed mode, you will get the SA account, system administrator. It's a SQL login. It's a SQL login, sir. By default, you will get the SQL login. For that SQL login, you need to provide the password. You need to provide the password. Clear? Not clear, everyone? Understood? No? Yes?
Clear.
Okay, no worries. If you're not understanding, also no worries. I will talk more in the security. Just make a note down. When you are installing SQL Server, there is a concept called authentication. Okay, whether we wanted to go for Windows by default, it will be Windows. If I want to go for mixed, so when I'm choosing mixed, you need to pass the SA account password. Okay, basically these passwords will be maintained by. Sometimes it will be maintained by application team. Many times DBS will maintain this password. Okay, because this login will have the top permission. This login will have the top permission in case if they want any, they want some application level upgrades and they want sysadmin permission. Rather than asking sysadmin permission, they will use the SA accounts. Okay, don't think too much on the technical right away. I will talk more when we are discussing security parts, sir. No worries. Okay, so you need to remember SA account. And finally, yes, sir. Yeah.
So the password for the SE account, is it also rotated just like the service account, or is this a permanent password?
No, it's not a service account. It's a SQL account. Okay, which having sysadmin permission.
Right, but the password for that SE account, is it
Yeah.
rotated in
Yes, as per the best practice, you need to rotate. Okay.
okay.
Always all the passwords, all the SQL login passwords, you need to follow 90 days policies or 45 days policies. What policies we are? I will talk on the policies, all that stuff when we are discussing security, sir.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah. Now, finally, there is one more concept called collation. Collation is nothing but language. Okay, by default, it will be Latin, nothing but English. Okay, so if you want to change the, see, if for example, if you are working for Japan clients, if you are working for Japan clients, mostly they will prefer the Japanese languages. Okay, mostly they will prefer the Japanese languages. If you are working for Spanish, so they will prefer for Spanish language as well. In case if they wanted to store along with the traditional English, along with their local regional languages. So they will ask us to change the collations. Okay. If they are mentioning the collation, please be careful. You need to choose that collation only. If they are not providing any collation, let's go for default collation, sir, because once you install the SQL Server with the default collation, if I wanted to change the collation, it's a little difficult for us. Okay. It's not an easy task to change the collation. Again, I'm repeating, it is not an easy task to change the collation. So please be careful in the ticket, in the ticket, in the email, if they are specifying any collation, if they are specifying any collation while you are installing SQL Server, you need to choose that collation. If you mistakenly, if you forget to choose the collation, okay, and you install the SQL Server, you hand over to the application team. Okay, again, if I want to change the collation, that is the biggest challenge for us, and that is the biggest escalation for us. Okay, please be aware if they are mentioning any collation, okay, language, you need to properly choose that collation while you are installing SQL Server. If you forget, that will become challenge for us. Okay, please keep in that in a mind. Very, very important point. Now, I told you, right, whether you are going to install standalone or whether you are going to install clusters. This is
Uh,
one thing. Yes,
and
ma'am.
question. So
Yeah.
for the collation, it means the application collation, right? Like application language, right?
No, it's a SQL, right? So application is loading some data into the SQL. What sort of application, what sort of data is getting from that application into the database? Okay. So SQL collation, ma'am. There are SQL collation. Getting my point? They
Yeah,
will
get
let us know
what?
what. Yeah. Sorry.
Like, what would be the difference if I choose like French? Like from our end, what difference we can see in the SSMS?
SSM is nothing. Nothing. The data, what sort of data they are going to load in that databases. Okay. What sort of data they are going to load into the databases will differs. From the top level, nothing. You won't see any much difference.
Okay, in the data level, they will
Yes.
whatever data they are fetching, that data heading would be in that language.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, got it.
I will take a separate session how to change the collation. One is very simple. Very simple. One is, oh my God, one is a little tricky. Okay, very tricky. Not little, not very tricky. So please
Two
be aware.
different methods there.
Two different.
Like you, as you mentioned, two types
Yeah,
to
two
change it.
types of changing. One is very simple. If you are having database, it's make challenge. If you don't have database, it's very easy. Assume
Okay,
you created a fresh instance and there is no database. Then it's very easy to change the collation. Assume you already created a database. You started creating the databases and applications start using the databases. If I wanted to change the collation in that situation, it's very tough for us.
okay, okay,
Yeah. So that's what installation. When you are strong at installation means you need to understand all these uh, components. Okay, important terminologies. But I mean to say, installation is very easy, sir. Everyone, every ma'am, it's very easy. But you need to remember these terminologies. What are the things I need to remember? Okay, whether I'm installing standalone or SQL on cluster. That is the first thing. Which version? Which edition? Based on edition, you will get the license information. No need to. And when I'm installing SQL Server, what are the best thing I need to follow? All my directories need to be in the dedicated drives. Authentication mode, SA account. What are the components I need to install? Like integration service, reporting service, analysis service, and Power BI. So if you remember these basics, okay, at least 50 to 60% we are good to install SQL Server. Rest we will learn because that is little technical part. So once you install SQL Server, what are the best practice you need to follow, like in terms of many configurations? So you need to follow the best practices. That also will, as a DBA, you need to take in care. See, if you configure best, SQL will give the best performance. If you not configure best, how how you can expect the good performance? See, take a Gordon, everyone. Take a warehouse. If you go for Amazon, okay, now only the stock arrived into the Gordon. Okay, they just unloaded. And if I'm asking to get one product, how much time you will take to find that product once just now it arrived? It will take a lot of time for you, right? Because you need to search everything to get that product. So after some time, you will arrange the products. Okay, you will keep individual products in the individual boxes. If I'm asking a if I'm asking a product to get, you can go and easily pick that product because you already arranged the data. So that is what, once you give the best performance, best configuration to SQL Server will give the best performance. Not only SQL Server, if you go for any database management system, if you're giving best configuration, obviously your database engine will give the best performance. Got it, everyone? Yes, no? Okay, so these are also components are very important. As a DBA, we need to install these components. So you will get this information as well. No need to worry. So these are the basic minimal prerequisites as a DBA we need to remember. Any questions on this slide? Any questions? Any questions on this slide? No? Yes? Okay. Now, I supposed to start the licensing part, but we are having only 15 minutes, okay, left, okay. What I can do, I will take tomorrow, I will start the licensing tomorrow, and I will start installing SQL Server by tomorrow. I will start installing SQL Server by tomorrow. Meanwhile, I will talk another concept, very simple concept. That is nothing but basically in real world, uh, okay. Let's go for real world, sir. Not our local laptop. Everyone is getting confused. That's the biggest problem for me. Okay. Now see, let's go. In real world, we will see if you wanted to install any product. See, if you wanted to install any product, first you need to download the product, right? Agree, not agree? If you wanted to install any product, not only don't think from SQL point of view, sir. Think in a generic point of view. So, for example, everyone knows about PUBG. Okay, if you want to uh, play the PUBG, first you need to download the PUBG and you need to install the PUBG. Then only you can use it, right? Agree? Not agree? Everyone, come on, sir, raise your voice, everyone. Okay, yes, right? Like say, if you want to work with the SQL, first you need to download the product. Next, you need to install the product. Then only you can use that product. Correct? Yes? No. First, you need to download the product. You need to install the product and you can use that product. Like everyone must and should know how many different ways we will download. Okay. So now if you go for traditional, for example, now I am showing in my laptop. Okay. I wanted to download SQL Server. Okay. Just click on download. SQL Server download. You have a separate website called SQL Server Downloads. Now, when I go for SQL Server Downloads, okay, now let's talk in on-prem. Okay, SQL Server on-prem. I got one website, and now when I click on SQL Server Download, now it will open a new window where you need to pass some information. Once you pass that information, you will get an option to download SQL Server 2022. SQL Server 2022. Now, for example, I am passing like, for example, Subbu, okay, CN and email address, yours at email.com. Any random information, no problem. I need to provide any accurate information, Subbu, no, nothing. For example, IBM, choose India, whatever reason you are, and choose the company strength, job role, DBA, and country code India. Okay, and provide the any random number, no problem. and just if I click on download, okay, now it will start downloading it will open one more window. Now you need to go for download the executable file 64-bit. Now when I click on here, now it will download one basic setup file. Once you open that setup file, it will promote you to download the product. That is what we are doing in your laptop, sir. In your laptop, you are doing this stuff. Will I do same thing in real world? No. Okay, that is a one thing. One more, Subbu, I want to download SQL Server 2019. I want to download SQL Server 2017. I want to download SQL Server 2016. How I am downloading SQL Server 2022? I want to download SQL Server 2019, all the stuff. Let's first go and ask the SQL Server itself. SQL, Google itself, 2019, download. Okay, let's go for SQL Server download. Okay, let's go for SQL Server download, and it is asking, it is downloading Express Edition. Okay, I don't want Express Edition. I want Enterprise Edition, Evaluation Edition. For example, let's go here. Let's go for SQL download only. Let's go back. Open SQL download. Now scroll down. If you want download Windows servers, you can download Linux server, you can download. Nowhere it is showing SQL Server 2019 here. Okay, or go back here, click on SQL 2019. Let's see what I'm able to find. Okay, it is going for SQL Server 2000 ebook, all the stuff. It is not prompting to download. So for example, I wanted to download different versions. Now for that, you can use my.visualstudio.com. If you go for my.visualstudio.com, okay, and try to provide any login to connect, okay, just provide your email address to log in. Now from here, you can start downloading, okay, different versions. Either you can go for SQL download to download the latest version. Either you can go for SQL download or try to make a best practice. You can use my.visualstudio.com where you can download the product. This is on your laptop. Okay, this is your laptop you are doing. Will I do in the same thing in real world? Because I want to install SQL Server, right? Now where you will get the setup file, correct? Yes or no? Everyone. So now you need to go to the download. When you go to the download, now you can start searching which product I want to download. You can download all the Microsoft product from here. Okay, so from my.visualstudio.com, once you register with your email address, once you just log in with your email address, now it will prompt to go to the download. From here, you can download all the products. From here, you can download all the products here. Now, this is in your laptop, sir. How you will download in real world? That's what the first question you will get it. Okay, see, now I can search for SQL Server 2019. Okay, if I wanted to download SQL Server 2019, okay, so now I can go for SQL Server 2019. Click on enter. Click on enter. Now it will prompt you to go for SQL Server 2019 and you can download the product. So using my.visualstudio.com, you can download the all SQL Server versions and you can try to install it on your laptop. And after that, you can also try to uninstall the product just for practicing purpose. Okay, just for practicing purpose, you can download the product, you can uninstall the product. So you will get to know what is the difference when I'm installing which version. See, you can go on download the product. So you can choose which language, which okay, 64-bit or 32-bit. Definitely it will go for 64-bit, and you can just click on download. It will go with the download only, and you are also seeing the key as well. For Express Edition, there is no need any key. You can directly download the product. Not only SQL Server 2019. If you want to download SQL Server 2012, okay, 2012. Now I can go for SQL Server 2012. I can search here. I can download what product I want. So from here, you can download any product, SQL Server product. So from SQL download, you can download the latest product. From SQL Server, from SQL download, you can find the latest product. But from my.visualstudio.com, you can download whatever version you want. You can download and you can just practice on your laptop. Does it make sense, everyone? Now, this is what you will do in your laptops. Now, how you will get real world? When you go for real world, you need the setup file, right? Okay. Basically, what are the strategies they follow means, see, I will tell you different scenarios. One scenario, okay, we will ask application team, okay. So once you got the ticket to install SQL Server, we will ask application team, hi apps team, okay, can you please copy SQL Server 2019 standard edition setup file, okay, to the server dial SQL 45, okay, on 28th, okay, Jan 2025. Okay, so first couple of times what we will do means we will talk to application team because they are maintaining all the setup files along with the keys, everything they will maintain. So we'll ask application team, can you copy the setup file to the server? We got a new ticket to install the SQL Server and they want SQL Server 2019. Can you please copy the setup file to the server? So they will copy the setup file to the server in the real world. This is not you will do in real world, sir. Many people are confusing. Okay, if I'm asking a question, how you will install SQL Server means, how you will get the setup file means, I will go to the SQL download, I will go to the my.visualstudio.com and I will downloading the setup file. In real world, why you will do all this stuff, sir? No, in real world, one one method is we will ask application team, they will copy the setup file to the server. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. First method one. What we will do, we don't know what method they are using, sir. One of the method I am explaining is we will ask application team to copy the setup file. So when you are asking application team, please be careful. You need to tell which version, which edition. These two are very, very important. Okay, these two are very, very important. Which version, which edition they wanted to copy the setup file to the server. Okay, first method. Method two, okay, you already having a network location, shared location. Okay, like for example, I am having let's go to the D drive. Okay, let's go to the Cebu, let's go to the binary. See, I am already having all the set of files. Okay, now they will provide this binary location. Okay, this is the shared location. Okay, this is the shared location. So what they will do, they already downloaded all the SQL Server setup files along with their respective editions, and they kept in this binary location. Okay, you don't need to go and ask application team because they are following this strategy. So whenever you got any request, you will open this binary location where you can find all the SQL Server respective versions, respective editions. You need to copy to the server. You need to copy to the server. Second method. Second method is this one. Any methods are vice versa, not only this one as a second method. Either they will follow this hierarchy, either they will follow this one. And third thing is, okay, they will create they will keep all the binary files. They will keep all the binary files in the cloud. They will keep all the binary files in the cloud. Storage account. They will keep they will create the storage account. They will create the storage account and they will keep all the binary files under that storage account. Okay, there is a storage account concept. Storage, no worries, all these concepts we will discuss. Okay, there is a concept called storage account. What they will do, they will keep they will, rather than keeping in the network location, they will keep in the storage account. That is one more technique. And one more technique is, maybe they will follow one URL, like SharePoint sites. They will follow one URL here. Like, for example, this is one URL. You need to go to this URL and you can download the product. Okay. Maybe that is also one different technique. Method 3 is cloud, Azure storage account, Azure storage account. Method 4 is SharePoint sites. Okay. We don't know what technique they are using. So don't tell that how you will get the setup file in real world means I will go and download. I will go and use my.visualstudio.com. No, sir, that you won't do in real world. You will, in real world, you will use any one of these techniques. We don't know how you are getting the setup files. So when you are going to take the KT, you need to ask this question, okay, how I am going to get the setup file? Okay, how we are getting the setup file here? So either application team is providing, or you are having a network shared path, or they are going to place all the location in the cloud, or they are maintaining a SharePoint location where you need to go and download the set of files. Different. Okay, we don't know, sir. So you need to ask this question while you are taking KT. Okay, not okay. How you will get the setup file in real world? Very important point. Got it, sir? Any questions? That's it, sir, today. Okay, tomorrow, main concept is licensing. We'll start with the licensing. Questions? No questions? All questions? Good? Everyone? Yes.
Yeah, sorry, so, just a quick question. So, from your experience, what has been some of the challenges for people who started newly as DBAs when it comes to installing SQL Server?
Yes, sir. If you don't know all this, that is the first biggest challenge.
Okay.
See, what the external trainers will do means they will go to the SQL download, or they will go to the my.visualstudio.com, and they will show you to how to install the SQL server. Correct? And you think that, okay, in real world also, I will go and search the download, Google, and I can download, I can install. Correct? That is what we'll do in real world. No. In real world, we never do, sir. In real world, you need to check what is the process they are following to get the setup file first. These many processes are there. So now you are comfortable. Okay, in our laptop we are getting a setup file differently, but in real world, maybe we will go to the app stream, maybe there is a network shared path, maybe in the cloud, maybe in the URLs. Okay, so first I need to ask this question while once I join to the new project. I hope you got my point, Eric. Okay, what I wanted to convey. Now you
Yes.
know the points. What you need to think from all this yesterday, today means you need to analyze everything. You need to prepare a notes, and you need to ask me if you got stuck somewhere. Raise your questions. I will clarify your doubts. If you're not preparing the notes, okay, just simply listening. Okay, Subbu told something. Again, you will be zero knowledge only, sir. Okay, got it? No. SQL installation is very easy. Again, I'm repeating, SQL installation is very easy. To know the process is very important. Okay, prepare the notes, sir, everyone. Raise your questions. In every day, you need to raise your questions, not simply connecting and sitting idle, listening something. Okay, after the sessions, you are not going for recording. No, sir. You need to follow the recordings many times, prepare the notes, raise your questions, clarify your doubts. Next day. Okay? Yep. So not only this one, sir, everything I will tell, I will compare Traditionally, I will compare real world. Traditionally, real world. Traditionally, real world. So that you need to make a note on all this point. Now, what you want to do? Okay, you wanted to prepare a separate notes for KT. KT. What question Subbu is raising? Okay, how I will get the setup file? This is one question you need to ask in terms of KT. That type of notes you need to prepare. Okay. For example, I will open Excel. Okay, I will open Excel. Okay, and what I will do? Let's prepare. Okay, KT FAQs. Okay. Now, okay, serial number 1 question. Okay, whether you got answer or not. Okay, still you are pending. You can prepare the Excel right away, and once you got the job, you can share this Excel to your email address, and raise all the questions and make a note down whether you got answer or not. Half of the job you already preparing before you got the job. Half of the work you already done before you getting the job, sir. But you are not doing. That's the biggest problem. Of course, I will also won't do. Okay, but I'm telling to you, sir, please. Okay, see, do smart. Always do smart. Okay, everyone. If someone is making this one, always there is one student, sir. His name is Annabelle. Okay, he got a chance to build everything from scratch. Okay, he started preparing this kind of notes, and he will ask me, he will ask Sai, if these points are clear, if this my his understanding is clear or not. That is the reason I remember his name. Whenever he used to call me, I will definitely will pick because he worked hard to to make happy on his job. What is hard work you are doing, and how you are presenting to me or Sai, sir, so that I will definitely remember. Oh, no, Eric is also doing a lot of hard work. If I give some support, he will become strong. Correct? I hope you got it, Eric or Brian. Everyone getting? If you show me or Sai that you are doing some hard work, and I will also get some encourage. I also need to make some support, external support to you, so that you will become strong in SQL. Not only Eric or someone, sir, everyone I'm saying. Okay, otherwise you are just as part of my student, that's it. I wanted to get that you are doing some hard work, irrespective of others. If I give some support to additional support to you, okay, you will be happy. Okay, that's what I can do it for everyone. Okay, this is what my expectation from everyone, sir. Just listening the videos and writing in the papers like a blah 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 something, and finally you can't understand. If I'm asking something you are not understanding, then that doesn't make any sense. Okay, do the smart work, everyone. Rise, create different Excels. Okay, installation. Okay, backups, recovery, restores, lock shipping, mirroring, always on, clusters. Raise your questions, comments, doubts, raise questions. Okay, installation is done. Prerequisites, I'm comfortable. That will make so easy life, right? Where you are pending, where you are strong, which concepts you already completed. If you're not doing that one and you are randomly going and preparing, it's tough, sir, again. Okay? Not okay. Yeah, that's it, sir. See you tomorrow. I don't want such lot. That's what I will tell you, sir. Always prepare OneNote, prepare Excel, prepare. Always prepare, sir. That's it. What I can say. Whenever you have a time, just try to prepare.